talk, real people, relevant conversations. The I Am Kiana Scales podcast is dedicated to real conversations about issues, emotions, and experiences that affects the lives of everyday people.
Welcome to the I Am Kiana Scales podcast, real talk, real people, relevant conversations. This episode is brought to you by the Closet Experience Boutique, your go-to destination for bold, stylish looks that speaks volumes. Whether you're upgrading your everyday wardrobe or hunting for that perfect statement piece, the Closet Experience Boutique has you covered. Just for our listeners, enjoy 10% off your entire purchase with code PODCAST. That's PODCAST at checkout. Shop theclosetexperience.com and start turning heads today. The Closet Experience Boutique. What's in your closet? Let's be real. This isn't the feel good, light a candle and journal your feelings episode. This is for the nights when the silence is loud as hell, and I do mean loud. In the mornings you wake up tired of waking up, when your mind feels like a war zone and your soul is just trying to breathe through the rubble. This episode is called Underconstruction because that's exactly what it feels like. Torn down, exposed, scaffolding everywhere, and nothing feels stable. We're talking about the dark side of mental health, the kind nobody posts about, the kind that does not get those "you got this girl" in the comments. Depression, anxiety, suicidal thoughts, isolation, the quiet hell we survive in silence. If you've ever felt like you are on that last breath, that last one, like you just can't take anymore. Well, this episode is for you. It's not polished. It's not perfect. It's pain in progress. But you're still here, and that means something. All right, y'all. When it comes to real talk on mental health, raw, unfiltered, and unapologetically deep, this next guest is a force to be reckoned with. She hosts the Unpack Bags podcast, where nothing stays hidden, no feelings get swept under the rug, and healing isn't just talked about, it's claimed. She's a certified mental health advocate, a compelling speaker, and a dynamic workshop facilitator who brings clarity to the chaos and strength to the struggle. She doesn't just walk through the fire, she commands the flames, showing us what it looks like to rise up, rebuild, and own your story without apology. This woman is a living testament to resilience, vulnerability, and transformation. Proof that even while under construction, we can stand tall, proud, and unbreakable. Let's start clapping it up and give some love and welcome the beautiful and wonderful Amanda Nicole. Yes, how you doing?
I'm doing great. I feel extra lifted after that.
Okay, come on. Yeah, that's what we do over here. We gonna lift our kings and queens up when you come through this door.
I love it.
Yes, I am glad that you are in my presence.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Thank you for coming. Now, you ready to help the people help the people?
I'm ready to help the people help the
people.
All
right, we gonna help them get it all together with this mental health, baby. So, we're just gonna dive right into this thing.
Okay.
And I want to talk about when we own those construction sites in our life, but we're going to just make this the mental health construction zone. I'm talking about when it's, it's noisy, it's chaotic, it's unfinished, it's not pretty. Yeah. So how do we find the moments of peace without pretending everything's okay when we have all that going on?
Mm-hmm. You actually have to make the moment. You have to make the moment. And the issue is that we always say that we're okay because we can handle it. We can handle it until we can't handle it anymore. So you're either going to make it or it's going to force you to make it. So you got to pick it.
I tell people you got to pick a struggle. And I also like to tell people that the real truth in that is when you silence that chaos. Sometimes you got to silence that chaos and you have to learn to breathe through it all. Like you said, because if not, it's going to take a hold of you.
Yeah. It's going to happen.
It's going to happen either way. Yeah. You have to let that, and excuse my language, but you got to let that shit sometimes just fall apart.
That's what
so you can get it together. And that's when you recognize the real.
Yep. And you got to stop. And everybody, they just won't stop. And it doesn't mean stop for a very long time. It could be 5 minutes first.
Yep.
And then when you enjoy your 5 minutes, I need 5 more minutes.
Yep.
When you enjoy those 5 more minutes, let me get a half a day. You know what? This is feeling good. But we got to introduce that to ourselves, and we're not doing that.
No, we don't normalize taking time. We always want to be on the go because we live in a world, like I always say, a microwave generation. We want everything just fast access. Yep. If it's too long, you don't want to be bothered with it. You want it just quick, fast, and in a hurry. No.
Instant.
That's why this is called under construction. Sometimes you have to go down low.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Dig through that rubble and find out what's going on with you.
Yeah. And your healing is not even instant. It's not instant. It takes time.
It sure does.
If it took time for you to get in this baggage, you know, get in that bag, then it's going to take time to get out of it as well. You just don't, I'm healed, I'm done. No, it takes time.
Yep. It's just like gaining weight and losing weight. It takes time. Your mental health is no different, people.
It's no different. Right. I wish on the weight I could just... I wish that could happen, but I'm still working it out.
What you said. So what's the hardest part of admitting you're still under construction when the world expects you to keep on going like nothing is wrong with you?
Everybody has a hard time forgiving themselves. Ooh, so before we take accountability just as a human being, we're still trying to take on the titles. I'm a mom, I'm a sister, I'm a boss, I'm a this, I'm a that. So to come back and just say I'm a human being and I made a mistake, or I am trying to maneuver in a way, and it's not even just a mistake, it's just life happened. I got into some situations got into me.
Yes.
You know. And it's hard to forgive ourselves because we're really hard on ourselves when we have those titles, so we're definitely going to be hard on ourselves just as a human being.
Yeah, I tell people we're our own worst critic.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Absolutely. So forgiving yourself, we won't forgive ourselves because we can't believe we did that in the first place.
And then we don't want to be real and transparent about what we did.
Yeah.
Woo, some of us is a hot mess out here, but we don't want to admit it because we live in a world where it says you have to be this, you have to be perfect. Yep. Nobody is perfect. You need to be okay being imperfect in an imperfect world, but that's for another episode.
But if you want to be perfect, we can say everybody's perfect. Then nobody is. If everybody is perfect, we all the same. Whichever way, make it your own perspective and roll with it that way. So
most definitely. So when we're in this caution hard hat area of our lives, how do we protect our minds when life keeps dropping emotional baggage and debris upon us?
Boundaries.
Woo, I like that. Boundaries.
You gotta have boundaries. And I just did a full month of mental health tips, right?
Okay.
And I posted about the boundaries, and everybody was like, that's really hard to create boundaries. Some of our baggage is because we're not telling people no. We're not telling people
it's an answer. Keep going.
Yeah. So when we create those boundaries, we create a whole nother bag of self-healing and self-love and confidence. And truth be told, the people that are always tugging at you, they're actually okay when you say no. They're actually okay. But because we want to do everything, you know, we don't want to disappoint nobody. Yes. We don't want nobody to be mad at us, you know. So we got to create them boundaries.
Yes, because you know what, we say we're not people pleasers, but what tends to happen is, like you said, you just don't want to this one. You're like, oh, I want to be there for this person, and we just be like, oh, but then you know what that turns to, you now have become a people pleaser, and we don't recognize. We don't say, no, I don't just go around pleasing. I know how to tell people, no, you don't. Because you're trying to take on so much.
Absolutely. And sometimes we bring a different type of bag because now that we're saying no to people, we don't know what to do with ourselves because we're so used to doing everything else. So now the focus comes back on you. What are you going to do with you? We've lost ourselves. We've done so much for other people. If you just say no for a second, you can figure out who you are now. What do I like to do? What are some things that I need to handle? What are some goals that I want to reach? You know, so boundaries are very important.
And I call it part of self-care when you sit down and work on you, the internal side of you.
Absolutely.
I ain't talking about that external where you want to say, oh, I can go, you know, that self-care part where it's like, oh, I'm going to get my nails done, my lashes. No, work on that internal. What's going on with you?
Absolutely.
Yes, we don't like to look at. I tell people all the time because you want everybody to think you have it going on. We don't have it going on. Quit pretending, people. Because it's really messing with our mentals out here.
It really is. And the sad part about that is because we do that, we don't think anybody is going through anything. So people are afraid to ask for help. If they're not afraid to ask for help, they're afraid to accept the help. So because we all think we all got it together. So it's important that we just human. We are. We just human, and that's okay. We all have baggage. Some bags are smaller than others. Some are bigger than others, but we have it. We have it. It's a part of life. It's how you're dealing with it. It's what makes life, work on it and keep it moving.
Yes, most definitely. Yeah. So how do we navigate the fear we might never be fixed, quote unquote?
That's funny because at that point we're worrying about something that may never happen. You don't know that you're not going to be fixed. Right. You don't know what's going to happen tomorrow. So you're already worried about stuff that's you don't have a definite answer on it. So we have got to get back to where we're just living. I'm just living. And we do a lot of things out of fear. Why can't we add that one? I'm scared, but you know what? I'm going to keep going. I'm going to just keep pushing. You know what I'm saying? So we just got to take that mentality that fear is just going to be fear. And if you're going to use fear to make an excuse, then it'll be there for you to make that excuse. But you just got to keep going.
Kick fear right on out the door.
That's it.
And what I would want to tell the people today is, your assignment right now is to water you.
That's it.
That's it.
That's it.
Point blank and period.
That's it.
Water yourself. That is your assignment. People don't take that serious. Like you said, you're pouring into others.
Yeah.
But you've got to water yourself. Because, baby, you're going to be looking like a dried out plant over here.
Yeah.
Just withering away. And that's what you're going to start looking like.
Yeah.
Because you don't take the time to water yourself. That's why you're out here thinking, I'm never going to be fixed.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because you're not trying to start with fixing yourself. Everybody can't fix you.
Right.
God can fix you. But what does God want from us? He wants us to start doing the work.
Absolutely.
Faith without works is dead. Let me throw that in there. So he wants you to start. He wants you to come to him. But he also wants you to do the work. You can't just keep crying a prayer and sobbing. You have to put in the work. So people, your assignment is you. Water yourself so you can be healed and fixed.
Yeah. Your main thing is to make sure your foundation is solid.
Yeah.
And if your own foundation is not solid, then you can't let others build on top of you. You can't. You're going to fall apart. So your foundation has to be solid. It has to be solid.
Baby, you gonna be round here falling down quicker than a tornado, baby.
Right.
You gonna be down.
What is your foundation made out of?
Right.
That
part.
Is it clay? Is it sand? Is it how we building?
Right.
And when you focus on that, then we can figure out some things.
Or are you around here using them Oreo crumbs that Nashville, Tennessee be using for these streets? Ooh, did I just shade T-Dot? Ooh, to my T-Dot family, I love y'all, but we got to fix these roads. Hey, Mayor, love you too, but we got to fix these roads. Can't keep using these little crumbs that every 3 weeks bride need to be fixed.
Man, it's rough out there.
Ooh.
It's rough.
Ooh, I just went on a tangent. I'm sorry, y'all.
I'm not mad about
but
it.
we're still talking about being under construction. So when we're at that part where we get on that construction site and it says slow down because there's work in progress for you to do, why do we feel like rushing healing? Why do we just want to rush through that like, whoo, I'm healed? No.
It's something good. I mean, that's the reality. It's something good. If I know I get a dessert after dinner and that's my favorite part, I'm going for it, If I know, the roller coaster ride is dope, I need this line to move a little bit faster. You know? So that's what it is. We want it to happen very fast because we want to enjoy. We want to enjoy. And on the other side, we want to skip a few steps.
Oh, yes. We always want
steps. So can I just get to level 10, please? And I tell people all the time, like a slow moment could be that you are progressing in a good way. You're progressing. You're getting there. But God is saying, hold up a second, because your next step requires a certain person or a certain thing, a certain subject, and you're already moving at a fast pace, but they haven't got there yet. So wait a second, kind of like when people get frustrated in traffic.
Oh, yes.
You know, and there's a wreck. We want to go around. We checking the GPS. How can we do such and such? All to get into another stop.
Yes.
So it's like, just be patient. There's a reason why you had to stop for a second, you know? And sometimes it's just to enjoy the moment. You've healed up until this point. Enjoy who you are right now.
Now, what if I was to flip that question? Because it's got me thinking, what if we're rushing through it because we feel like, oh, such and such is tired of me. Maybe my spouse, my mom, or family member, whomever, is tired of me talking about my issues. So we're trying to rush the process for that person.
Well, you know what? That is totally irrelevant to your healing process.
Oh, say that again.
Totally irrelevant to your healing process.
Yes.
How anybody responds to what you need to do is out of your control, you know. And when you need to talk to people, if it may not be your spouse that you're able to talk to. Your spouse may not be able to handle that on that capacity, you know, for whatever they're dealing with or not dealing with, you know. So it may be a way to even guide you in another direction to speak to other people, because it's not going to stop. If this is how your healing process is, and this is something that you need to support whatever you're doing, then you're going to continue to still talk about it, you know. That's just what it is.
Most definitely. Like, it just makes me think about when we bleed. We think about, oh, I don't want to bleed on this person, my pain.
Yeah.
But I would tell somebody, find that right person to bleed on.
Absolutely.
Because you don't want to keep that all in. Like you said, your spouse, your mom, somebody, they may not be the right person. Maybe it's therapy, a pastor, or whomever. You just need to find that right person. But you don't want to bleed quietly just to protect another party, because you're going to end up hurting yourself in the end.
Yeah, absolutely. And I mean, everybody has a purpose, and we all need support in some type of way. You may have some trauma that's going on, and even though I'm in the mental health, I may not be able to relate to you, but somebody else may be able to relate to you, and maybe that's why we didn't connect in that area. So I wouldn't want you to not talk about it. It just means that you directing yourself somewhere else to the guidance that you actually need. You know, I can give you some advice, and you're like, she really don't understand me, you know. So I'd rather relate to somebody in a safer space that has been through what I've been through, you know. So that's how it makes sense. It's all direction.
But we all have our issues. Like, I tell people, there are days when I don't even want to get out the bed. There's days that I'll be like, I just don't even want to be here. Not that I'm suicidal, but it's just those thoughts. Like, I'm just being transparent on this episode. There's days that I just be like, oh, I don't want to talk to somebody. I don't want to have to keep calling somebody, telling my mess. Like, it's always, you know, you feel like it's always something going on. Even though you're speaking positive affirmations, life happens.
Absolutely.
Whether we want to hear it or not. And you're like, man, I got to call and say this. And like, when does it stop? But then you hold on to those affirmations and those prayers, and you're just like, okay, I just don't want to be like, you just, you know, like I said, it's not a suicidal thing for me. It's more of a, just take everything away. It just feels unbearable at times. And
sometimes you have to plug in those positive affirmations. So whoever you are talking to for your support. So I have a best friend. She hears ups, downs, lefts, and rights, you know, and there are days where nothing positive came out at all. And when you have somebody that's connected to you in that way, they even say, what happened that was positive today? You know, what's going on here? And it's not necessarily her responsibility, but when you have the connection of a supporter, that's what they do. That's what they do. And then that even reminds you, like, you know what did happen positive today? You know what I'm saying?
To redirect you.
That's all that is.
From crashing in that dead end zone.
Absolutely. But are we going to have bad days? Yes. Are we going to feel like there's nothing positive today? Yes. That's the part of being human and being able to be free to even feel that emotion, to even come back the next day to say, I'm not having another full bad day. Something's positive coming out of this day. You know what I'm saying? So sometimes we need a couple of wrongs so we can appreciate the rights, you know? So it's okay.
Look, what you said. So have you ever prayed for healing and still woke up broken? And what did that do to your faith?
Ooh, okay. So that's happened to me a couple of times. Okay. I was really upset at God twice, where I felt like God was not hearing me, but I was in an area where I wasn't listening.
Okay.
So I prayed and I prayed and I prayed, and my faith was very, very weak. It was very weak. So I felt broken on so many levels. So when I lost my father, I felt that way. My dad was everything to me. One of the people that I thought was just the strongest man out here. He affected so many lives. So it's like, why did you take this angel? So I was pissed off about that, and I was angry at the world, and I just could not get past it. The other time was dealing with my divorce. This actually happened 3 times. No, my 3rd time I was okay. But dealing with my divorce, I was ashamed of telling people that I was going to get a divorce because my life was not supposed to be this way. Everybody sees me as you're going to be successful. You're going to be this. So I already had that in my head. And like, now people are going to know that my marriage wasn't the best, So it's like, God, I'm trying to do the right things here. What I'm still hurting. What's going on, So I've definitely had that before. But pushing on, when you get out of those types of rough patches where you can't even get your faith base together, when it gets better, that's not human, so you go back and you say, okay, I just missed that a little bit. You know what I'm saying? I missed it. So that's how I was even able to come back, through my senses, and then of course my mom was like, look, snap out of it. Okay. Whatever you got going on, we're going to get through this. Wake up. Okay. So mom's had a lot to do with it too. So yeah, I've definitely been there before.
And I can say I have. I've been praying, tears, and I'm talking about, that lump in your throat.
Yes.
And
that silent cry.
Yes. And you just prostrate out like, Lord, if you don't hear me or do something about this. Yeah. I was in one of like to call my DMX era where you just like, y'all gonna make me lose my mind up in here. And I'm like, Jesus, you're gonna make me lose my mind up in here if you don't come through. Yeah. But you know what I had to come to terms with? That the weight, the silence, and the ache, all of that pain that I was experiencing, I had to understand what God was doing. He was trying to make me feel his presence and his power. But it was more like I was trying to tell him what to do. Ooh, baby, I was trying to tell God what to do. Yeah. Like I'm his controller. Yeah. But y'all didn't hear me, did you? Who tell me to hush and keep on talking? Because, baby, that's what I realized through mine. Yeah. I was like, I'm trying to tell him how to navigate this thing. But why did I go to him if I thought I had the answer? If I could navigate this thing, I wouldn't be that lump in my throat, crying, prostrate all that down, like, all of this. What I'm doing all this for? Right. If I'm not going to trust the process and trust him. But I learned he was teaching, you being taught something in this. And healing doesn't always come as deliverance. Sometimes it comes as endurance. Because you just said to see what you can take on. Baby, we gonna drop these gems over here today. If we don't do nothing else, baby. Ooh, baby, we gonna preach on through this episode. But yes, it's times that I tell people, I love when I can share something that I've learned. Like I tell people, we all have mental issues. We may not call them mental illness, but we have stumbling blocks, however you want to sugarcoat it and call it. We all have them. That's why it's important to do episodes like this so you can see you're not alone. Yes, it may look like I have it going on, which is I don't show a whole lot of my life that's like fancy or anything, but you might be like, oh, well, she's doing this, she's doing that. I still have struggles as well. Absolutely. I'm not exempt. Nobody on this earth is exempt.
I mean, that means you got it all figured out. If you never run into anything, some of that is molding you into the person that you're going to become. So accept some of these things. Everything is not just grand and all smiles and giggles. Sometimes you got to go through the dirt and the mud. Sometimes, and that's okay. It's okay. You come out and you're like, oh, I turned out all right. Right. I think I did pretty good. Yeah.
So if your house was healing and you had to tear something down to rebuild, what would you have to tear down in your life?
Say that again for me.
If your healing became a house, what would you have to tear down before you could even lay the first brick? Let me say it like that.
So I'm actually, I love being transparent. Overthinking is a big thing for me. Overthinking has got me in a lot of situations, So if I could I feel like overthinking is like pictures that I just hang up and they're just everywhere, and I make a decision on how this room is going to operate because all these pictures that I have to put up, or take down. Yes. So overthinking is going to be a big thing for me. I've had hardship in relationships. That's a mental area. I've had hardship with jobs. It became toxic. I've had a lot of situations that have touched overthinking. So if I can get overthinking on the ground and swept, baby, and put in the trash, I'll be okay. But I do work on it really, really well. I think I got it under control because overthinking, it didn't come from my situations. I've always been an overthinker. Mm-hmm. Now it has expanded because of my situations, but I've always been an overthinker, so it's just like how I'm navigating through that.
Well, I feel like you talking to me right now. I'm like, ooh, we might be sisters, girl, because I be overthinking. And that's the woo.
Man, that's a big one for me. A big one.
Ooh, you see, got me over here like, ooh, she's stepping on my toes. I think we related on that one. You know what? I would have to say the lies I tell myself. Okay. The things of you're not worthy sometimes of the opportunities you get. I would have to let all that go. And that's that overthinking part. That's why I was like, oh, I think you talking to me. Because you start overthinking like, well, why they pick me? Why I'm getting this email? Why they want me to come? Yeah. And you just start playing it in your mind. Yeah. And once you stop doing that, you realize, oh, I'm worthy. Absolutely. Because we feel like when we're at our lowest, especially let me take that thing back. Mm-hmm. So when you're in your lowest and opportunities and things come, you start questioning, why they coming for me? I'm not worthy of this. That's when you start telling yourself all of that. Yeah. And that's what I would have to take away, that overthinking and feeling like sometimes I'm not worthy when I'm at my lowest. Because you're not the scum of the earth. We're not. And I tell myself, I'm not the scum of the earth. Yeah, you might made a mistake and you at the lowest because that's a decision you made. Yeah. We always sometimes want to blame it on the devil. But I had to realize, no, it wasn't no devil, Kiana. Yeah. You did it. Kiana, you're your devil. Yeah. You did it. You put yourself in that mess. Yeah. And we just have to be real about it. And I would say this, that once I started realizing that, hey, take all that away. Yeah. Erase it. Mm-hmm. That's why I tell you, I don't tell my stories I try to be as transparent as possible. I don't give you all the good. I have to go back and tell you, there were times that I was dealing with this and thought I wasn't worthy, or I was a scum, but I know my value. Like I fast forward, I know all of that now, absolutely. But I like to take people back. Because I've not always had this fight until you didn't get to see me doing some of these stages. So I do like to talk about them a little bit to say, hey, I'm human just like you. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And the things that we thought that was drowning us, they was just teaching us how to swim.
That's it.
Once you realize that, they was just teaching you how to swim. Baby, and I can't swim a lick, but the things that I go through in life, baby, I think I can. What is this? The forward stroke, and baby, I be stroking back. Oh, that's a song, but that ain't talking about the right thing. I'm sorry, I was finna say I be stroking, but never mind. That's another subject for another day. But let me stay focused. We got a guest in the house, because y'all know how I do, baby. I get off track in a minute. But yes, but let me say that again for the people in the back. The things you go through will teach you how to swim. I need y'all to write that down. Remember it. Because that's going to help you grow in life. Whether you believe it or not. It will. You're going to go back and say, I heard her say that I was going through this challenge. Baby, it taught me. You might even come tell me it taught you how to walk on water. Bless it.
Let's go. Let's go.
So when we get to the site is closed while we're under construction due to safety violations. We're going to talk about them safety violations. So have you ever had a moment when you realized your own mental space wasn't safe?
Yes, lots of times. Lots of times. And because I worked on myself so much, like I get the feeling like instantly too, like, no, this ain't it. This is not for me. You know what I'm saying? And I think that is a flex. I really do, because it really says that you really worked on yourself and you really understand what rooms are for you, what situations are for you, anything, what church is for you, what friend is for you, what all of that is for you. When you have grown and gotten closer to God and closer to yourself, you know, like, no, this ain't for me. And it's not that anything else is negative. It's just not for me. You know, this does not coincide with my mental. So I need to go in this direction over here. So yeah, I've had that happen plenty of times. So, and I don't want life to keep lifing. So I'm going to listen to that feeling and stay in my lane.
What we say, that gut feeling, that intuition that we feel. You better listen to it.
I'm good. Now, I've had some times where I didn't listen. I took my little happy butt, you know, but then it was like, you knew that already. You already knew. So ain't no sense you crying. Ain't no sense you saying, God, yada, yada, yada. Take your L and walk back on across the street like you're supposed to. Yeah. So it just is.
Take that L so you can get that win, baby. That's what I tell them. Sometimes you got to take them L so you can get a win.
You do.
And that's a good thing. I tell people that's a good thing for me. I like, people like, what? I said, I like taking them L's because I know I'm going to get to them wins.
You're going to get to the win for sure.
Eventually you're going to get there. But you got to figure out, okay, I done took an L on this, took an L. Okay, let's go back to the playbook. Wait a minute. It's just going back to that playbook.
That's it. Unless you still learning the same lesson.
Ooh, now then that's a whole other thing. You can't keep learning the same lesson.
Like this keep happening to you because you didn't learn it. That's why it's happening to you again.
Oh, yes.
So, and we get into that a lot. Why am I still here? Why am I? Because you have not learned the lesson yet. You haven't learned. You're not listening. So when you listen and you learn, you won't have it no more.
Then you'll have the green light to go to the next step. But until you do that, baby, you're not going to get that green light. No. I just said a word. What you just said, you have to learn the lessons, those life lessons. You can't keep going back, because if you keep going back, you need to ask yourself, what am I missing?
Why am I
you need to figure it out sooner than later.
Instead, we blame the people.
Oh yeah, it's always somebody else's fault. It's Amanda Nicole fault that I'm not. What you do to me? I want to blame everybody instead of saying, no, Kiana, what you did to yourself. Let's call it what it is. It's self-accountability. We don't want to take that accountability.
And people always want to think that it's something that you're doing wrong. And it's like, no, you just keep going back in the situation. Doesn't mean that you're doing something wrong. You know, it's just, that's not the situation for you. And if a lot of people are like, if everybody else you got in a different situation, it was a different person. That situation and a different person. That same situation, a different person. Then you have to look at yourself and say, how do I keep going in that same situation? You know, what am I doing? And again, it's not that it's wrong. It's just that you don't need to go in those situations anymore. That's it.
Most definitely. So how does someone begin to rebuild when their blueprint was broken from childhood, when survival was taught before self-worth?
You still have to get those feelings out. We plant those in so deep, so deep. And we have to get to the root of it and really get it out. A lot of our anger, a lot of our misunderstandings, some people don't even know they were raised a certain way and they thought that was just the right thing to do because that's what they saw. You know, I saw my mom do this. So why would that be a wrong thing? Because that's my mom, you know, or why would that be wrong? Because that's my brother. I saw him do it, you know. But we have to come out and say that. And that's not easy. No, that's not easy because we're already feeling like we're judged, you know. So now I got to go all the way down in my pockets where the lint is and tell you some stuff that I've never told anybody. It's been sitting there since I was 10. It's been sitting there since I was 6. You know, it can start really, really young. And sometimes we don't even know that that's what that is. We don't realize that the trigger came from something 30 years ago. We don't know that. So you have to pull back those layers. You got to keep pulling until you get to the root of it. And usually when people get to the root of it, you get like a weight lifted off. Because you now understand that this is what it is. Okay, this is why I feel this way. You know what I'm saying? And sometimes it does make you angry because you realize like, oh shit, you know, well that's messed up that I went through that and I didn't even realize, you know, this was a thing. So yeah, you have to pull back and pull back. So you definitely have to be in a safe space to do that. If you're not in a safe space, that is not coming out.
Oh, no.
It's not coming out.
Nope, because you're going to hold that in. But when you said, you made me think of something when you were saying about what you learned, or, you thought you saw brother doing it, mama doing it, daddy doing it.
Mm-hmm.
Ooh, I'm going to tell you something. What made it just made me think of something. A child's first enemy is an unhealed parent.
Yeah.
Ooh, baby, you had me thinking. I was like, so if the parents are not healed, the siblings are not healed, that whole generational them curses, they trigger down.
Yep. Absolutely.
So that's why you got to unpack those layers.
You have to. And it's hard because you even want to talk to your family. You want to talk to them. You want to understand. You want to know that beyond you. How did you get like this? How did this start for you? And then it just gets deeper. Sometimes it tears up families, and then you don't want to tear that up, so you hold it back in again.
Family secrets, baby.
It's tough.
That dirty really laundry. Tough. And
it's tough.
I want to say this right here. Sometimes, even when you start peeling it back, nobody. You might have that one person or people in that situation that are saying they don't see anything wrong with it. Because guess what? It was passed down.
Yeah.
Just like we know the sky is blue, but if I come in here saying no, it's yellow and trying to convince you all my life, I've been told it's yellow, you're going to be like, what? So if I say in my family, we've always said the sky is yellow, but you say it's blue, and I'm going to tell you no.
Yeah.
Because that's what was taught until you go. That's when that outside perspective and everybody has to be real, unfiltered, and get it all out.
Yep.
Because you can bring it up and say, we need to have a family talk. But I just want to warn you. It may be some people that say, they don't see nothing wrong with it because that's what was passed down from generation to generation.
Not only that, when you try to fix it, you then become the black sheep or the villain. Yeah.
Yes.
And that creates a whole nother baggage. That creates a whole nother baggage. So you're trying to figure out, okay, so how do I maneuver with this? I'm trying to talk to my family. I feel like that's the right thing to do. I'm still close to my family, but they don't want to talk about it. So where do I go? Who do I talk to? How do I get comfortable enough to say these things? My own family don't want to talk about it. So who do I talk to about this? So mental health can create 4 walls around your brain to where you're trying to work it out. But if you don't go through a door, you just keep knocking your head up against each wall every time. So it's tough.
Have you feeling like you in a straitjacket or need a straitjacket?
It's really tough. It is really tough out there.
Yes, but we do have to unpack it and talk about it because it is crucial. So what are some signs that we may be letting the wrong people on our construction site?
The response. If you don't feel safe, if you don't feel comfortable, if you don't even have an emotion or a reaction to even want to talk to them again, sometimes we can even say, she raised her eyebrow when I said this. I don't think she want to talk about that. You know what I'm saying? If you don't feel comfortable, that's how you know, like, that's not. Maybe they were for something else. They were for a different job. They were supposed to put in the screws, but we needed somebody else to hammer it. You know what I'm saying? So we when you don't feel safe, you won't say it again.
Or when they're bringing more chaos to you than clarity, you like, wait a minute, I came to you thinking you causing me more chaos. Yep, that's the wrong person on your site, baby. Remove. Absolutely. It needs to be the warning. I
was gonna say your anxiety will start popping off.
Oh yes,
yeah. So that's the warning signs.
So
for
you
sure.
heard Amanda tell you that warning sign. That's it, baby. That's it. When your anxiety is triggered.
Absolutely.
And when they let's talk about when they only want to show up when the demolition is going on in your life, but they don't want to congratulate you when the good shit is going on. Let's talk about it.
The crazy part is while you're healing, though, you'll notice it. Like, you throw your pop-ups up when things are going left for me. Like, where they at when things are going right for me? Yep. You definitely see that. And I don't care how traumatized you are. You will see it. You will see it like, no, she only here on my bad times or he only here on my bad times. So, Yeah, they out there.
Because they just on that demolition site just to say, ooh, I got to go back and tell such and such, girl, your girl doing bad. She down real bad. I mean, real bad. You know,
they got their own baggage, though. So they need to feed off of you to make themselves okay. So those are leeches, you know, those bugs that are out there on the construction site. When you have a new development, we got bugs everywhere. Yep. So sometimes it's going to be that way where you're going to have a couple of spiders that's going to come out and try to grab you, you know. So they definitely out there.
And be mindful of that.
Yeah.
Keep that eye open, that little side eye.
Yeah.
So what does a healthy construction crew look like?
Healthy is going to be one that continues to check on you. It's actually going to be one that doesn't always have to say something back. They might not say anything at all. They just listen to you the entire time. Yes. That's it. Sometimes it's whatever energy they have just being in your presence. It's going to be a sense of calmness. For a second, it may not be peace right away, but it will be calmness to where you would still want to come around them again. It's going to be either some feelings you haven't felt before, or it's going to be some feelings that you haven't felt in a long time. So that's going to come back around because we wasn't born with baggage, you know, not baggage. We weren't. Some of us do have an illness, you know, and that's a different situation. But baggage, we weren't born that way. So you will feel some joy again. You will feel some. Wait a minute, I used to do this, you know. I haven't laughed this hard in so long, you know, and those things won't be a practice. You would naturally do those things when you're around those people.
Gravitated, you know? Like you said, that
Absolutely.
joy.
Yep.
You need the ones that's going to bring you the tools. You need the crew that's going to respect the blueprint, meaning they're going to respect where you are at this moment. They're not going to rush your healing. They're going to be open to whatever you're going through. You need that brick, the bricklayer, the one that helps you rebuild day by day, by day, that checks on you. They don't want anything from you. They just genuinely care about you.
That's it.
Then we need the safety inspector. Ooh, baby, we need that. That, you know what? The safety inspector, they gonna call you out and hold you accountable, but it's that good love. Because, you know, the safety inspector got to do those checks and balances because they want the building to be able to be built properly.
Absolutely.
So you have to have that on your site.
Absolutely.
So as we continue to talk about mental illness, when it feels like a broken crayon, let's say, how do we help people find their colors again?
So a broken crayon is still going to color.
Yes.
Okay. It's still going to color. But it's literally a reminder. If you can continue to put negative things in your mind and believe it, imagine what will happen if you put positive things in your mind and start to believe it. So that would be what everybody else would do when you're at your lowest.
Yep.
Girl, you got this. Girl, you got this. Girl, you got this. You know, that would be how they recognize, you know, I'm a green crayon, you know what I'm saying? I'm a green flag out here, you know, so not a red crayon, you know, or I'm a red crayon just sometimes, you know, sometimes I'm a red crayon, you know.
Or a yellow flag on the play. Oh, I just tossed a flag on the play. But the good thing is, it's still going to color, and but that yellow can mean something else tomorrow. It just may tell you, caution, this is on the rise. See how they change?
Absolutely.
You may have a foul on the play, but then it's warning you, hey, give you a little caution light here. Yes, because something is coming ahead, and if you don't take care of it, it's like your check engine light on your car. Yes.
Yeah, we have to understand that we are full of a box of colors, not just one. We just need to know when to pull it out. That's all. Today I'm gonna use the green crayon today, you know, and be okay with whatever I decided to do. You know, I snapped off on somebody. Okay, well,
you just crashed out there.
Yeah,
just out here crashing out.
But you know, and respectfully, you know, but I'm okay. I'm not beating myself up about it. I was human about it. I ain't go kill nobody.
Okay.
But
yeah, because I don't need you. Look, Amanda,
we'll do
I love
tomorrow.
you, but I really don't do prison. I don't want to have to come see you.
My
in
sister
prison.
says I don't do prison ministry, so cause
but I mean, if you really need me to bring the podcast to you in the prison, no, we're not gonna speak it. I'm just messing with her, y'all.
But yeah, it's I just think it's okay to be yourself and to understand that you're not always gonna be peaches and cream. You're not always gonna be that way. So somebody asked me where my mood was, and I said, because you always see me chipper. The moment that my radar went down just a little bit, you were just like, oh, you got an attitude. Ooh. No, I just am not as chipper as I was yesterday. That's right. all, and it
can vary from that. We have to normalize that moods. As long as you're just not a moody person, be like, oh God, we don't know. Wait, the mood just swings all the time. Then you need to get some help and some meds or something for that.
Right.
But I say all that to say, it's okay to have some moods sometimes.
It is.
It's okay. Let's normalize having moods. But like I said, when it's going too far off the radar and something, you need to probably go see your primary care physician and find out what's going on with you.
That's different. But if you're not expressing yourself, that is part of packing the baggage back in, because you're not expressing yourself. That's how we go back to the root of I'm okay and you're really not.
Yep.
So if you upset, you pissed me off today. I'm upset. So and let
have
me
a right to feel. Let me feel my feelings.
Yes. Yeah, it's okay. It is okay for sure.
Yes. Real quick before we go any further, if someone you know is struggling with suicidal thoughts, please, you are not alone. I want to let you know that you can call or text the Suicide and Crisis Lifeline at 988 anytime, day or night. Your story matters and we need you here. Again, the Suicide and Crisis Lifeline is 988. You can text or you can call that number. I want to make sure that I got that in. I meant to do that at the top of the episode, but I just felt that we needed to get that out there. Absolutely. And yeah, that's very serious. I mean, I just know that there are people out there. We're all going through we in some trying times. People are losing jobs during this time. It's a lot of uncertainty out there. So please find you someone to talk to, somebody you trust. Keep your boundaries up. Protect your health and your peace. Absolutely. Okay, now let's go even deeper, because someone listening right now, they're at their lowest, and I do mean lowest, and they feel like they're all alone. They're not even thinking about next week, let alone tomorrow. They're trying to survive tonight, Amanda. Woo! They out here with heavy hearts. Their spirit, I would say, is cracking. They feel like at any moment they could just end it. What would you say to them that could help them along the way to get through at least the next, let's say the next hour, because they don't even know if they're going to make it the next hour.
You deserve to be here. You deserve to feel the happiness again. You deserve to experience joy. You deserve to be the person that you desire to be, and you have a purpose.
Yes.
If you cannot make it through this hour, you cannot fulfill the purpose. In order to fulfill the purpose is you acknowledging that you are needed here. So you have to keep pushing. You have to keep fighting. Somebody needs you. Somebody needs to hear you. Somebody needs to see you. So even if you're questioning an hour, think about the minute that you're in. Surround yourself with positive, not just affirmation, but positive sounds. Do something that's going to distract you just for a second and bring you peace.
Yes.
Find something that will make you smile just for the moment. And understand that it's okay that you're not okay.
Yes. I'm going to add on to that. I want to let you know that today's disappointments are making room for your tomorrows. That you have breath in your body that you're still here. Let that marinate in your spirit. Just let it marinate. Like Amanda said, somebody needs you. You are needed. You are valuable. Just let it marinate in your spirit. Y'all, and in the back of my mind right now, I can hear everything, Amanda's like a song with me. And right now in my spirit, I am feeling Diedrich Hatton. He's able, exceedingly, it's talking about God. He's exceedingly, abundantly, above all you can ask for. He will give you the strength that you need. And I would advise you just to go, you can Google it, YouTube it, Diedrich Hatton. He's able. Those words are powerful. And he says, don't give up on God because he won't give up on you. It's just powerful. I just need you to go listen to that and just keep the faith. I know we talk about, hey, God, I can't see you. I can't trace you, but you need to feel that. I need you to put your hand on your heart. Let alone also feel for your pulse. You're still breathing. Just let it marinate. You're still here. Yes, we all have struggles. My struggle may not be as intense as yours is, but guess what? I'm giving you a virtual hug right now. I'm loving on you through these airwaves, through this mic, because you are needed. You are wanted. You're respected. No matter what they said about you, even if they talked about you like a dog, you are a human and you will be respected. Hold your chin up high because you are a child of God. You got this. I just want them to sit in this because this is real. We can't play with it. My spirit is telling me somebody's going to hear this and they need to know that they are worthy. Yes. Please reach out to somebody. Even if you need to reach out to me, I am not a life coach. I'm not a minister. I'm not any of those titles. But one thing I can guarantee you is I will get you in the right place. I will not spread your business. If you need help, let me know. Reach out. If you just need somebody to talk to, please, you can contact me. You can go to iamcounterscales.com and you can fill out the contact form, or if you just want to reach me on social media, please do. Please, I don't want to just run through this episode because we never know when somebody is clicking on this, what they're in need of. But yes, Amanda, tell the people where they can keep up with you.
You guys can go to unpackbaggage@gmail.com for one-on-one sessions, or you can see me on any social media platform at Unpack Bags. I offer workshops. I do events. I'm also connected with the minister and on the physical health side with Agape Family Healthcare as well. So if you guys need any help spiritually or physically, I have those resources. And I just did some connections on some therapy and some counseling. So please reach out to me on all platforms at Unpack Bags or unpackbaggage@gmail.com, and we can make sure we get the help that you need.
Yes, that's a resource right there, and she's connected to other resources as well. So please, I'm begging you, if you have something going on and you need somebody to talk to, this is a safe space. We're all under construction. Yes, thank you again for joining me, for being that beacon of hope for the listeners. I like to call my listeners Listener Land.
Okay.
You have really helped Listener Land to navigate if they're going through, and I appreciate you for that.
Thank you so much for having me.
Oh, thank you for being here. Now, y'all, it's time to get into this real talk. Mental illness can feel like a broken crayon, chipped, cracked, and forgotten at the bottom of the box. But broken crayons still color, they still create. They don't lose their purpose just because they don't look perfect. Healing doesn't mean you have to be whole or flawless to add beauty back in the world. It means learning how to use cracks to make something new, something real. Ooh, y'all, and that's what this episode was all about. The messy middle, the part of healing nobody wants to talk about, the breakdown before the breakthrough. With my girl Amanda Nicole, we got into it, what it means to be under construction, the trauma we had to bulldoze, the new blueprints we were learning to build with, the hazardous materials like shame, silence, and perfectionism, and the people who can't have access to our construction site anymore. Ooh, I need y'all to go ahead, like, comment, subscribe, and share this episode with someone who needs it. Hit that notification bell so you don't miss any of these real, raw, and relevant conversations. This isn't just a podcast. It's a movement, and I want you in the room. Hey ladies, ready to elevate your style game? From timeless classics to the hottest trends, we've got something for everyone. Visit theclosetexperience.com and save 10% today with code PODCAST. That's PODCAST. Theclosetexperience.com. What's in your closet? Theclosetexperience.com. What's in your closet? Be sure to use code PODCAST, PODCAST, and save that 10%. Theclosetexperience.com. What's in your closet?